Home sales across Canada are down by 50% or even more in some real estate markets. Mortgage arrears rates, so people that are delinquent in their mortgages by more than 90 days, are on the rise, and that's projected to peak in early 2021. Will that potentially result in a glut of foreclosures and negative pressure on real estate prices in Canada? Well, I think most experts agree right now that yes, we will probably see some downward pressure on prices. So, would now be a good time to buy a house? On this episode of Bald Prairie Real Estate, we're going to answer the question, should you buy a house right now in Canada? Hey everyone, welcome back to Bald Prairie Real Estate. My name is Matthew Pfeiffer. I'm a real estate agent in Regina, Saskatchewan. If you like keeping up to date on the Canadian real estate market or just want to learn more about real estate in Canada in general, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button right now so you don't miss another video. This bad dad joke is from a friend of mine, so if it sucks, go blame him, not me. But what's the opposite of isolate? Me so early. Now I can already see people's eyes rolling at the thought of this topic in this video. Should you buy a house or not? Of course, the real estate agent is going to tell you to buy a house no matter what. All I'm really focused on is getting a commission. At least that's what a lot of people in the comments have been saying. So yeah, I guess we can cut this video right now and get out of here. Buy a house, I need to get paid. No, that's not what I'm all about. And I understand if you don't know me that well personally, it's easy to make assumptions. So if you did want to get to know me better, here's my Instagram handle. You can follow me, get to know me at a more personal level. But yes, I have told people to not buy a house, and I will continue to tell them to not buy a house or sell their house if I don't think it makes sense for them. I believe in providing people with the most education, the most knowledge, so that you can make a decision whether they should buy or sell right now. Now, at the end of this video, I want to go over one specific topic that I think has been a little bit underreported, that I feel is going to have a really significant impact on the Canadian real estate market, especially some of those really hot markets like Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Victoria, stuff like that. So stay tuned to the end, but right now we're going to answer the question, should you buy a house in Canada right now? There are many factors you have to consider when you're thinking about buying a house in Canada, and the economy is of course one of those that absolutely has to be considered. So if you're very concerned about the Canadian economy, where things are headed, if you think that we're in for a significant recession, maybe even a depression in Canada, then the answer to should you buy a house right now is a really simple one. No, do not buy a house because it's going to be worth less tomorrow than what you paid for it. I've seen some numbers thrown out in the comments, people thinking that price correction might be 50, 60, or 70%. Now, the largest correction in Canadian history was during the 1990s recession, and on average, Canadian real estate markets dropped between 20 and 25%. So 50, 60% declines in prices would be double or triple the most significant recession in Canadian history. If you're thinking that government bailouts and employment insurance and economic uncertainty are the future, well then no, do not buy a house, you're going to get burned. But if you're a little bit more optimistic and you see the Canadian economy slowly recovering out of this, even though it's probably going to take some time, then continue watching because I'm going to go through why maybe you would want to buy a house in Canada right now. So besides just economics, what are some reasons you'd think about buying a house? Of course, I can't make an exhaustive list of every single reason why you'd want to buy a home, and a lot of these reasons are going to be very personal to you as to why you're thinking about buying a place. But here's a couple of reasons that are really good reasons to think about buying a house right now. Have you outgrown your existing space, whether you're having more kids or you just find the place you've got is too small? That's a good reason to be thinking about buying a house in Canada right now. Maybe you're moving cities or you've got a different job in a different part of the country. Well, if you're going to be in that place for a long period of time, you want to set down roots in that new community, that's a great reason to think about buying a house. Another one is just simply, you've got more money to work with now. You want to look at a new neighborhood, whether it's for family or personal reasons. Hey, if that's what you're thinking, that's a great reason to look at buying a house right now. So, of course, not an exhaustive list, but there's a few reasons that are great reasons to think about buying a house right now, even in all the craziness. There are, of course, way more reasons than that as to why you'd want to buy a house. But if you're looking at buying a house right now, you have to be willing to accept some of the risk. We do live in some very uncertain economic times right now. There's a realistic possibility that house prices are going to come down in value. So if you're buying a house right now, you have to be willing to accept the risk that that price is going to come down. It's going to be worth less in the future. Now, if you're going to be in there for a long period of time, that's a little bit less of a concern because house prices will slowly begin to recover over time. But if you're not willing to take that risk on, don't buy a house right now. Okay, so you've decided to buy a house. What are some of the advantages to buying right now that maybe you didn't have just a few months ago? Well, of course, the biggest one right now is interest rates. As we're recording this in mid-May, interest rates are like 2.45 for a 5-year fixed mortgage. That's exceptional. They may go lower, with what's going on right now and how much mortgage rates have been flying all over the place, who the heck knows where they're going? But right now, those are some very good interest rates. Then, of course, because many of these markets like Toronto, Vancouver, and other really hot real estate markets where there's very competitive multiple offer situations, so I've heard of offers, where you've got 30 people trying to buy the same house. Well, now 50% of those people aren't buying houses anymore. So you're in a less competitive situation. You may be able to derive yourself a better price because the sellers know there's just not as many buyers to buy their house anymore. And then as a direct result of the COVID-19 pandemic, many lenders are offering some really good cash-back programs. These are small cash-back programs designed to do things like help you repair a broken furnace, air conditioning unit. You can actually even use some of that cash to repay credit card debt, so your debt service ratio is better. Now, these are changing all the time. I'm going to try to put some links to some of that information below in the comments so you can check that out. But because they're changing so fast right now, anything I said right now is probably out of date next week. So those are some really big advantages if you're looking at buying a house right now. So do I think it's a good time to buy a house right now? Well, that depends. If you think that Canada's due for a significant economic recession or collapse, no, don't buy a house because that house is going to be worth a lot less in the future. I've seen people throwing out numbers that house prices are going down by 50% or more. I just don't see that happening. I do expect house prices could come down. And if you're willing to accept that risk that your house might be worth less than what you paid for it, then there's some good reasons to buy a house, whether it's you've outgrown it, you're moving to a new city, maybe you've just decided you want to go to a different neighborhood. Those are all great reasons to buy. You've got less competition, lower interest rates, and some great programs you can take advantage of to help you buy that house at a more affordable rate. I said it earlier in the video that I wanted to talk about something that I don't think enough people are talking about, and it's going to have a significant impact on the Canadian real estate market, especially the red hot real estate markets across Canada. And that's the supply problem we've got. Those markets are as red hot as they are because there just simply isn't enough supply to keep up with demand. That's what's kept those prices going the direction they have been. And with this global pandemic, new construction companies either had to slow down or shut down entirely, which is continuing that supply problem. So as economies start to reopen, I expect buyers to come back to the market sooner than new construction companies can get online and get building new homes. I think that's going to slow down the rate at which prices decline, if they do decline, in those big red hot real estate markets across Canada. I know you probably don't want to hear that, but that supply problem isn't going to change. There, of course, is going to be reduced demand, but the supply is going to be reduced even more. So if you're still thinking about buying a house and you're from Regina, Saskatchewan, I'd love to help you out. If you're not from Regina, but you want some help, I've got real estate friends from all over Canada who I know are excellent real estate agents that can take care of you. So send me a comment below and I'll make sure to get you set up with that person. If you're a new home buyer, first-time home buyer, and you just want to get more information, I've got a whole series of videos right here that's all about first-time home buyers. If you want to get more information on where the Canadian real estate market is at, where I think things are going, here's my most recent market update. Thanks for watching, everyone.